Hello, welcome to Soccer Yanks. I'm Dave.
And I'm Dan.
This is the Wednesday, April 24th edition Champions League first leg just finished. And what a doozy. A lot of things happened this week. A lot of things.
We're coming to the end, and, basically the end for a lot of leagues. They're settled. They're finalized. And the last 2 days of Champions League play has been really unprecedented, really. But let's take it from the EPL.
Yeah, let's start off with the champions. I guess everyone saw that coming when we started, right?
Yeah, not immediately, but I would say since maybe December, it became pretty evident that they were gonna take it. £1 million per goal. Is that how it adds up for Robin van Persie?
You can't really put a price on silver.
Yes, you can. Actually, they have to pay 1.5 more million because you won the league. So that's exactly what they did. They put a value on winning.
That's true. I guess if you look at it that way. There's more than RVP on the team, though. He does have the golden boot right now, though.
And we'll get into it, but he's going to get it now. I think
yes.
His closest competitor is at the dentist.
He's getting his rabies shot.
Yeah, he's getting a root canal.
We'll get to the puns and the Suarez horse jokes later.
So, Manchester United won the league. Kind of saw it coming. We're not really surprised. We're not really shocked. They did it in pretty impressive fashion. Hat trick from the Dutchman.
Wonder goal, another one.
Yeah, he's got a gallery of volleyed shots. I mean, he's got. I can't think of another player that has that many first-time volley shots that look so impressive. And the technique.
And the finish overshadowed the service at the end of it. It was the most superb finish you could possibly do with that ball.
I think that sometimes that on plays like that, the service gets overlooked because the finish is so incredible. But the piece of the puzzle that's very important is that ball was served up
on his foot.
Exactly.
On his left foot.
On his left foot. And then, but his technique, you see when he makes contact with the ball, he knows that, you can skyrocket these things real easy. You just see, his form, it's so tight, and he's, hunched over the ball, and he pulls through. I mean, he's a phenom. I mean, he's a little bit late there. He's got a couple rings.
There's very few people in the world that can go into Manchester United and push Rooney into this midfield, and he's one of the few.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's not much more to be said about Manchester United. They
won
20 titles.
I read somewhere since the EPL started, and we don't have to fact check this.
It's 13.
What is it?
They have 13 Premier Leagues.
13 Premier Leagues, and they haven't been below third place.
That's nice.
That's pretty insane.
It's pretty insane. It says a lot. It says a lot. I think it says volumes of SAF. It also, we have the financial questions. Manchester United is a very rich club. They're not pulling their money in from some sugar daddy, but
self-made.
But they make a lot of money, and they're very wily with their sponsorships. I mean, they're leading the way with the teams that are selling the rights to their training facility. I'm sure.
Well, they started it, but they were the only person at the time that had a brand where they could. They were in every continent. I am a Manchester United fan because they were in the United States first. When I was a kid, they were on TV all the time. Regardless if they had the businesses to do that, they were the only one that was marketable enough to be able to put on TV. That's another argument. But I can tell you that's why I support them, because they were here first, and that was the only thing I could watch. And I'm not going to support something I can't watch. I would love to be able to support Millwall or some championship team. No, I wouldn't.
You're a liar. I would love to support Millwall. Yeah, no.
If I grew up in some town out in the countryside and I was around club football in my town and things like that, if I grew up there, I went to the stands when I was a kid. Absolutely, I would.
You could support Sports Friends out of Wayne.
What's that?
Come on, Sports Friends Club, the German club out of Wayne. They have a club team that plays in the semi-pro leagues of New Jersey.
That doesn't count.
Wow.
That doesn't count.
That's what I thought that was what you were referencing. Some local club.
No, I mean like people kind of have a chance.
Oh, so there is a prerequisite to be good.
Yeah, you have to have some sort of something to watch.
All right. We're not gonna. Everyone has their fandom for a million reasons.
That's another soccer yank argument.
What? What is that?
The time that you have, a lot of people like to watch amazing teams. That's why there's so many Barcelona fans, so many Madrid fans.
Absolutely.
Your so-called plastics. If you only have 2 hours a week to watch it, you want to watch something amazing. You don't want to get your heart broken if life's filled with heartbreak. To some people, to the romantics like myself and you. Well, you.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't have my heart broken much.
Yeah, I get my heart broken lately, but when we win, it's a lot sweeter than ever biting a wooden doll. You know,
True.
It means a lot more. But that is a argument for another day. Interesting enough, Man U won the league, right? So what I really didn't want to see from just a supporter side emotionally, I didn't want to see Man U come into the Emirates and a draw or a win would give them the title.
Yeah,
at the Emirates.
To text you.
I didn't want to see that,
yeah.
And I'm happy that it's over with. Now they come in, we give them the honor guard, we clap, show respect to the league champions, and then we play some football. It's not. There's that pressure, that awkward pressure of you guys celebrating on our field. It's over.
Yeah.
So I'm happy about that. But I'm not happy that you won. I'm happy for you, but I'm not happy. I wouldn't be happy with anybody other than my team though. So don't take it personally.
You know what? To me, even though we won the league this week, that was not the most entertaining game though. There were actually two that were arguably. Could have been on any other weekend the two most separately entertaining week, but they happen to happen on the same day, right at one after the other. The Tottenham game and
Tottenham City
and the
Liverpool Chelsea.
Yes. What do we start with first? I guess we'll go chronological. The Tottenham.
Okay, let's go. Let's do that. I know that you texted me a bunch of times about this game, and you said. I think the quote is most entertaining game of the year. It was very entertaining, and it was a tragedy, a Greek tragedy to me. It was like Shakespeare because City did everything right, except for finish a couple of chances. I mean, they were winning. They finished at chance. They did everything right until the last. To like the last 30 minutes, last 20 minutes.
Just crumbled.
And then all of a sudden...
But it didn't really crumble. Tottenham just kind of...
Well, the first goal went in, I think, teams are always both teams are very dangerous after a goal. Because both teams, there could be a stun factor, an emotion factor, and it was like, boom, boom. And all of a sudden, City was on the back foot, down a goal, and then number 3. It was like... This is like 10 minutes or 15 minutes.
ABB eyes were wandering up. That was crazy.
It was crazy.
The ball that Bale put into Dempsey, that was incredible. Outside the left foot from the right side, around along the line, it just found the last guy. It was fun to watch.
You know why I don't find that incredible?
Because you're an Arsenal fan.
Well, no, no, that has nothing to do with it.
All right.
Because the proper play was to hit it with your right foot. He's a typical one-legged wonder. I mean, he's amazing. It's a wonderful left leg. It's one of the best left legs in the world. But his right leg is only used for standing and running. That's to me that's not a complete footballer. That's always my biggest argument about Messi. But again, Messi is like 10 times what Bale is with his left as well. So it kind of overshadows it. But to me, I think a complete footballer's got to use both feet, and it drives me nuts because he makes the play harder.
But I'm not saying he was a complete footballer. My
okay,
argument
no.
That was an amazing play, and the fact that he did it with his
okay,
left.
so yeah, he did it. It was very nice. It was very nice. It was perfectly curled. It was
flutter. But yeah, no, I understand your argument, and that's why I don't think Messi's the best player in the world. I think Ronaldo's the best player in the world because he does it with both legs. And
every threat. He's every threat.
That's a soccer yank stance. Yeah, he is in every threat.
this was actually the weekend, I think, of undeserved points. Not minus the Man U. Man U, that was they clearly dominated Villa. But just real quickly, Arsenal beat Fulham 1-0. They were up 10 men for 70 minutes, something like that, 85 minutes. And they were playing like they were down a man the whole game. They squeaked by 1-0, and they didn't deserve those points. Again, I mean, Tottenham deserved the points, but really, if you looked at it, you would have never imagined at the 65th, 70th minute that Tottenham were even going to be. They weren't in that game. They were not in that game. It was all City. It was all one direction. They were just completely in control, and then a complete collapse, a mental lapse and collapse. And
well, then that's your argument, though. It's a 90-minute game, not a 60-minute game.
There goes my argument. But then, what are we talking about then if we can't argue about it?
No, I'm just saying.
No,
I don't think it's hard to say that Spurs didn't deserve it because they stuck in it and they didn't give up.
It is the emotional factor. It's always the subjectivity of the emotion.
So you're saying City got gut punched after the
absolutely. Do you think Do you think Spurs are a better team than City? Honestly,
on paper, no.
I think City. On paper, to me, City is probably the most well-equipped team in the league.
Yeah.
I know it was in White Hart Lane. I'm watching the game and obviously
pretty open game.
Yeah, but the chances did not show up for the Spurs until the very end. Like
well,
the real chances.
Not until they put a real striker in.
Well, there you go.
They were one striker away from winning 5-0. You could say, I guess, right?
Supposedly. So I mean, all right, so that makes the race to 4 very, very interesting because I think a lot of people slotted in
and
City was going to win that or at least draw. So there's Spurs got points that they weren't expecting. What was that other match?
Everton dropped points too.
Yes, Everton did drop points. What was that other match?
Liverpool and Chelsea. That little old thing.
That little thing. To me, this one was the exciting one.
I can't believe I left in the last 10 minutes thinking it was going to be boring.
To me, this was the most exciting match of the week. Because it was the whole game.
It had a trifecta of Luis Suarez. You had a handball, you had a bite, you had a dive, and you had a ridiculous goal in the 94th minute. You had everything that Luis Suarez does.
Luis Suarez was man of the match for both teams. There's something about this guy. He really put himself on the map during the last World Cup. With that, with the handball, playing for Uruguay, the handball on the goal line. It wasn't just a handball. It was a swat, right? He put both his hands over his head and he swatted the ball out of the goal. And he got an automatic red card, and then they got a penalty kick. But Uruguay blocked it. So he's like walking to the tunnel crying, right? Thinking like, I've ruined whatever chance my team had. And then he sees the block, and he's like jumping up for joy. And that solidified what it means. What Luis Suarez is. He is both an idiot and a genius at the same time. He is both a tremendous footballer and the bane of football at the same time.
It's such a paradox, that guy. He does some amazing things. It is incredibly entertaining to watch any game where he touches the ball in space with a play-in, link up, anything. He runs straight into the defender. He does not care. He'll put his spikes up. He'll come at, if someone's put his spikes up, he'll put his up too.
I mean, yeah, okay. He dives, right? It's kind of part of the game. Egregious diving, everyone hates, but the guy gets clobbered too. It's not like it's
deserved.
It's right. It's deserved.
One hand washes the other.
But that game, the back and forth, and my boy, I won't say his name because I don't want him to appear. My boy, he played horrible 45 minutes, the first 45, and got subbed. You know.
The Masked Man?
No, Felipe Coutinho. He put in an awful shift. He was just off. Passes are going directly into Chelsea. And then Daniel Sturridge comes in. And that guy's like, oh yeah, you guys got rid of me for Torres, right?
I got a chip on my shoulder.
Here's
the other one.
Let me show you what I could do. And it was an amazing ball in. Sturridge puts it in. All of a sudden, like re-energized, revitalized Liverpool, and then down the other end, handball. Suarez sucks the wind right out of the team.
I don't know what you're talking about. He does one of those.
Oh man, all hope almost lost. Well, of course, we're forgetting about the biggest thing. Forgetting about the bite.
Yeah. I can't forget about it. I ran into a Liverpool fan the day after. He's like, I mean, did he see? Was there blood? Was there blood? I'm like, what does he have to break skin for the video proof?
You know, have you ever seen the video of the Central? I think it was a Central American player. There's a video on the internet, and I don't know. It's not a very popular player, not a very popular team. At least not to me. And the player grabs the opponent's hand and arm and swings the arm up and hits himself in the head. And then he goes down, right? And, like, they caught it on tape. Like, the guy obviously pulled his hand. And I thought Suarez was doing that. Because when I'm watching it live, I see Suarez, like, grab his arm and bring his arm up to his head. I'm like, oh, man, we've all seen this video. It's not going to work. And then all of a sudden... I'm like, did he just bite him?
Strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off.
I'm like, did he just bite him? What? And Ivanovic is on the ground, like, I think stunned. Like, I think someone just bit me.
It was like Saving Private Ryan, the guy holding his arm. Like, what?
It was a Uruguayan werewolf in London.
Oh, that was amazing. But they ended up getting the draw.
I'm surprised nothing. All right, so yeah, they ended up getting the draw. Last minute header from Suarez, like a incredible goal.
The Suarez goal.
I mean, to be honest with you, this is the game. Remember, I had said the weekend of undeserved points. Okay, so let me lay my framework of the emotional, the luck side. The first goal that Chelsea scored was from a corner, and it was Oscar. Had a free chance at a header, and he got it in. The header was placed very nicely, but Liverpool's defense, for two things. One, they left. I mean, Oscar pulled away from his defender very easily, and two, they had nobody on the post. What's going on here? This is like elementary school stuff, you know. So, and then their second goal was the Suarez handball, the retard ball. No offense, that was. You don't know what I mean. You know, not like that.
We'll bleep it. It was a derpy move.
Yeah, it was. So then they get a PK. So that's both of Chelsea's goals. We're not like, okay, they're goals. Of course, everyone will take every goal that they get, but they didn't really create anything else out of, the rest of the game. I mean, I think they hit the post once, but and then Liverpool, like, their goals were earned. They worked. So it's just interesting dynamic of the heart and soul of teams getting crushed this weekend. So, I read today Suarez 10 match ban. Yeah. Plus, Liverpool immediately fined him. Like that after that evening or the next morning, he was immediately fined by the club. They got psychologists in there talking to him like, you need anger management, Charlie Sheen. And then Jamie Carragher wrote a big piece, I think, in the Daily Mirror, basically saying, like, everyone's got to chill out, all right? Like, okay, yeah, he went off his rocker. This guy's a world-class footballer, and he's like, I threw a coin into the crowd at Highbury. Like, do people forget things? Like how, like, people make stupid choices. He's like, someone threw a coin, I picked up the coin, and I just threw it into the crowd. I didn't throw it at the guy that threw it at me, I just threw it. And he's like, Eric Cantona drop-kicked someone in the stands. He's like, that's not even players. Like, that's not even in, like, the heat of battle. That's like, I'm going to take out a guy that's a spectator.
Hazard and ball boys.
Exactly, right? So he kind of was just making a case like, let's just calm down. I know everyone has, like, a vendetta for him, but we're not going to sell him. Like, no one should sell him. He's staying. Interesting, but there goes his...
It's just another fish and chip paper.
Well, there goes his golden boot, right?
Well, that's for sure.
No, he can't catch up.
No,
it's over.
Mathematically. Who's number 3?
I don't have my notes with me anymore from last week. I think Bale was close.
Bale, that's who it was.
I think Bale was close.
Yeah.
But not that close.
It was like
I think it was like
5
17 or 18.
Yeah. Yeah, I think RVP's got that one sealed up. Second year in a row.
And well, I think the voting is actually already closed for Player of the Year.
Oh, yeah?
I think so. Not sure. But
Well, that was a Golden Boot, no?
well, Golden Boot is just a stat, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is there's a chance that
PFA.
RVPs gets both.
Oh, yeah?
2 years in a row. I mean, that's an interesting thing. Has anyone ever done that? Gotten
Two different teams, too?
Player of the Year and Golden Boot 2 years in a row, and then if there has been, have they done it on 2 different teams? It's very
Homework.
All you fans out there, I got plenty of homework already.
So, not much else going on in the EPL. A lot of people kind of hovering in the same spot. Mid-table, the relegation was solidified.
Yeah, the 2 bottom teams, Reading and QPR, I think are done. Wigan still has a game in hand, and they're sitting in 18, but they're very close. The only other interesting story of the mid-table is the resurgence of Sunderland. They just look very good under Paulo Di Canio. I wonder how it's going to pan out for them. I mean, they're the ones that they beat Everton 1-0. They did a number on Newcastle the week before. They look interesting under him. They don't look as Neanderthal, and they don't look as toothless in the final third. So it's just interesting. Just an interesting team to keep an eye on because they look pretty grim.
They always like playing spoiler at the end of the year.
Yeah,
I always remember them. But like I said, not much else. I mean, I'm not sweating about anything anymore. So
that's great.
So we got Man U at Arsenal coming up this weekend. What are you doing? Hanging out?
I'm watching it because we need the points.
Is it Saturday or Sunday game?
Sunday game, 11 a.m. Eastern. Unfortunately, I love my club, but there's Wenger. He's another duality. The man at times he shows some real tactical prowess and shows like some just incredible football knowledge. But I find that I think it's because there's a bit of a pride thing where some teams, like for example Man U, can you name Man U style this year, or have they've been a chameleon?
Whatever works.
Right. They've changed they've only imposed their style of play or their tactical design against lower teams. Against the bigger clubs, they've adjusted based on their tactical design. Meaning they're like, I'm just going to play what's going to work against you. So Wenger, for some reason, against Manchester United, is like, I'm going to impose on Manchester United my style. Except that SAF just pulls up like the playbook from the last time they played, and they're like, this is how you beat them. Don't play a high line. Eliminate the pace. Pressure their midfield. Game over. Then, pressure the midfield, cause a mistake, counterattack, put in one, so win 1-0, 2-0. That's it. And unless I can't foresee Wenger making any drastic changes.
No Giroud.
Yeah, Giroud got a 3-match ban. Well, we didn't really talk about that too much, but the FA is an embarrassment. They're an embarrassment. All right, he got a red card. It was a clumsy, reckless challenge. It was never a challenge that was going to hurt anybody, though. Like, the intent, he slipped. The intent was never to hurt the guy. It was just stupid. He shouldn't have tried to do what he tried to do. He stepped over the ball and he slipped, and then he ended up catching the guy on the ankle. Yes, he could have broken the guy's ankle, but he didn't. Okay, are we going to start? Are we handing out punishment based on what could have happened or what did happen? A 1-match ban, I think, would be completely just. They gave him 3. They went to appeal. They said no thanks. It's 3. That's what it is. That's the FA for you. By the way, Aguero double stomped David Luiz.
Yeah,
and didn't miss a match.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. There's something wrong. There's just something wrong. I don't care that he got 3 matches, but then Aguero needs 7, and Suarez needs 25. I mean, it's
the math's a bit off.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Did you see the stills from that Luis tackle? it's two-footed spikes down straight on the back of his hamstring. His feet weren't even on the ground. It was full on.
Oh no, he was standing on him. Yeah,
it was insane.
Yeah. So who do we put as striker? Who would you put as striker?
Lukas Podolski.
Of course, that's what the fans.
I just wanted to sing.
That's what the fans would want too, right? Because he has played centrally. Wenger's even in a couple of interviews said, we've put him in training. We've put him in centrally. He has some proclivity to play there. I mean, I think of the players that we have on our bench, he's the guy that has the nose for goal, and I think we're wasting him on the left side. Just for us, for our setup. Maybe for Germany, he works fine on the left side. For us, I just think it doesn't bode well. Now there are some rumors that he's carrying in a bad ankle injury that's going to need surgery in the summer, so that's maybe why he's not getting a lot of playing time. But Wenger just I brought him in to play on the left side. He's got over 100 caps for Germany playing on the left side. I want him on the left side. That's what he says 90% of the time. And then there's that 10% of the time he's like, oh, maybe he'll play. Maybe he'll play in the middle. So I have a feeling it's going to be Gervinho up the middle because
Really?
he's played there, and that's who he's put. Gervinho has had in the beginning of the year he had a string of 8 or 9 matches playing up the middle. Of course, the other option is Theo Walcott. That's where he wants. He wants to be miniature Thierry Henry.
Have you ever signed a team?
He signed the Ting, so now we put him back on the right. But this is the. I'm seeing an issue with Theo. We put him on the right, and now this is the hard part. We're not in the boardroom. Excuse me, not the boardroom. We're not in the locker room, the changing room. We don't know what's being said. We don't know if the tactic is Theo, you start on the right, and then you drift in and you become a second striker, because that's what's happening. I don't know if it's just Theo being stubborn and drifting in because that's where he wants to play. He wants to prove to them, watch, I'll play in the middle, I'll show you. Or if that's the tactic that Wenger is like, no, we'll set up as a 4-3-3, and slowly we'll turn into a 4-4, 4-4-1-1, or a 4-4-2 of some sort, I'm not sure. I would like to either give him a shot down the middle. I actually think pace in against Man U is not going to work. I think you guys are going to play a very very deep. You're going to play I think you're going to play a deep line. Not necessarily you guys are fast, but I think you're going to play a deep line to eliminate our pace.
They don't really play with forward to back anyway. It's more of a diamond with 2 centers and Carrick as kind of a sweeper, and the fullbacks usually play up. They're not really defenders. The Raphael is more of a he's the modern fullback.
Yeah, he's a modern fullback that plays the entire side of the field, which can be taken advantage of.
Yeah, against certain teams,
right,
with less skill.
Well, we beat Bayern.
True.
Have you seen the infograph where it shows Bayern's last 20 games and it's like win, and then a big face of Arsene Wenger, and then win, draw, win. Listen, it's the little victories. That's all.
True. They are still going for trouble though.
Bayern, yes. Yeah. Scoreline. I think the champagne is still going to be in the system a little bit. I think RVP is going to show he's going to show some restraint.
You think he'll even play?
Maybe not. That's actually, I prefer him to play. Yeah. Because he'll show restraint on the field. If he's not playing, Javier Hernandez is like, I want to get a new contract, or I want to get on a new team, or I want to do something. Yeah. I mean, the points record is still up for grabs, but Man U's got to win out to get it. They'll only beat the record by 1 point, I believe. It's 95.
I think SAF will go for it. What else does he have to go for?
It's possible. When I did my predictions, I put this in as a draw. I think this is going to be 1-1. I will be doing backflips if we win. If we lose it, I'm not going to be heartbroken either. They're the champions. We're 5 years in a row rebuilding.
And if it's another 8-2 game, we might not have a podcast for a couple weeks.
Yeah, or we will. It'll just be me
me.
talking. No, it'll just be me. You won't be allowed to talk, and it'll just be a rant on why the EPL is fixed. No.
There'll be a wife beater with soup stains all over it.
What else do we got?
I think we got some Champions League action happen this week. Should move to no.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I think we'll start off with well, I wouldn't really call it a Barca game. It was more of the Munich disaster. Well, sorry, I gotta edit that one out. Didn't mean for that one to go like that. But yeah, no, it was
no pun intended.
Yeah, no pun at all intended. Yeah, no, that was atrocious. I thought it was going to be a more entertaining. I mean, it was great to watch if you don't like Barca like me and you. Well, me.
I've become indifferent. We've had this talk. I go from indifferent to hatred depending on how they behave. This weekend is just indifferent. 4-0. What was glaring to me, what has become glaringly obvious over the last few weeks in the Champions League, they're not deep enough at center back. Barca. This is obviously Barca, right? So now Puyol is out. Mm-hmm. And he's getting old, right? He's already getting old, and now he's got another knee injury.
Every 3 months, he's got new knees.
Mascherano, the missing link, or Neanderthal man, whichever you prefer, has another knee injury. No love lost there for me, because I think the guy is a miserable human being, and
despicable.
He's out there just to kill. But he's a good defender for if he's on your side of the field. He's out. They started PK, which I've had many a conversation with Barcelona supporters that will rant and rave about the qualities of PK. But you show me a match where PK has stood up to a strong and powerful striker. I'm talking about the likes of Ibrahimovic or a Drogba.
No, he's always relied on Puyol.
Or, in this case, a Mario Gomez, however you want to say it. He is so soft against big, strong guys. Maybe it's because he's got a liking to them. I don't know.
The commentators were saying that the Barca wasn't strong in the air, and I think Munich definitely went after that for sure. Crosses in, jump, high balls.
Well, yeah, and then the other center back they started was Bartra. I mean, this guy, they put for this situation, they put a pretty inexperienced guy.
Champions League semifinal
against arguably the best team in the world, or at least you can't find it in your heart to say they're the best team in the world, the most informed team in the world, right? And PK is your defensive leader right now. And on your wings, you got Dani Alves and Jordi Alba that play exactly the same style, which leaves you with two center backs now. Mm-hmm. And then forces you to play Busquets much further deep, much further back. And then, if you don't have those strong two center backs, and now Busquets is being forced to play further back, now the tiki-taki starts to fall apart because now it's one less guy.
And you can't get it from the back third to the front.
So tactically you start to see right there it starts to crumble. But the other glaring thing I saw, there's two other glaring things. The other glaring thing I saw that I've been seeing also because of the Messi injury, there is a psychological problem with Barcelona right now. Messi is off his game. He's not 100% fitness. You got hamstring issues, and the confidence of the Barcelona side, the entire side, is so fragile because Messi. I don't know what's happened.
Very dependent.
It's become They've become, and I think it's psychological because Iniesta and Xavi are world beaters. These guys are the top midfield in the world, right? They really are. These two guys, they're incredible. But they did not play like they were incredible against Bayern. They played scared. They played shocked. They played almost like, oh no, what do we do now that Messi is hurt?
How are we going to get in?
It was a confidence thing. It was a psychological thing, I think. And then the other point is, and I blame Pep Guardiola for this, they never replaced their striker. They got Samuel Eto'o went, okay. Ibra came in. Ibra went. Who is their striker? Who is their... David Villa is not that kind of caliber guy. David Villa is not an Eto'o. He is not an Ibra. He's not a Zlatan. They don't have... Okay, and I know some people are going to argue, well, Spain won a World Cup without a striker. You know, they played 6 midfielders. Okay, yeah, that works. The shock of that works. But once people figure that out...
It's a novelty.
Once it gets figured out... Plus now also your false nine, your Messi, that pulls defenders towards him, that allows your speedy, your pacey guys, your David Villas, your Alexises, your Pedros, to come into that space that he creates, playing that false nine, like basically he invented the position almost. Mm-hmm. When he's not doing that, and now you're not creating that space with these pacey guys.
That's their game plan. They're used to.
What do? They didn't change. They didn't change their game plan. When they eventually started to make some changes, it's already too late.
They don't have a B because they never needed a plan B.
I think I think Tito that's what he's facing right now. Like, oh man, we've only had a plan A, and now it's starting to crumble a little bit. Is this the end of Barcelona? Probably not. I don't think this is like. I don't think that we're marking this on the calendar as
the generation that won 3 in what was it, 5 years, three champions in 5 years. I think that generation is coming towards an end. I think it's over. Probably another 3 before
Yeah, this is not going to be.
Xavi and Iniesta when they retire, that'll be the end of that, and then it'll be a new wave of the new class.
Yeah, and it's my only fear for them. And it's really not a fear. I guess if I was a tactician for them or some sort of involved in management of them, my fear would be that they're not allowing their younger players enough playing time. That they're going to have a wave of older gentlemen that are leaving the game, and now you're going to have a wave of young guys just taking over. You're not going to have like the Man U has, this mix of veteran...
Change of guard.
Yeah, this mix of veteran and youth. I thought they were doing that with, for example, Cesc Fabregas, right? He's going to be the new Xavi. Yeah, but they don't take Xavi out of the game. So how is he ever going to be Xavi?
Yeah.
Now they force Fabregas to play the false nine. Well, of course he's going to look bad. He's playing the false nine in the place of the best player, arguably the best player in the world.
Yeah.
Of course he's going to look bad compared to Messi. And then they start putting him all on the wing and all these other places. Okay, yeah, he does okay. He does pretty good. And he'd make the starting 11 on 99% of the teams in the world. But his position is that Xavi role. And they're not letting him play it.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. They get a player of that caliber and put him in a square in a circle.
Yeah. What did Bayern do? Bayern... I mean...
They didn't have a pronounceable safe word for Barca. That's what it was. It was a
oh man,
it was a rough game.
Do I think that they're clever, right? They came out, they pressed the midfield very hard. They played very physical ball. Once they realized that the referee was not going to blow the whistle at everything, I mean, Thomas Muller and Aaron Robben are what I like to call the suppositories of football. They just know how to get in your ass, and then they dissolve. Then they get all up in it.
Muller is top notch, man.
Well, I'm not saying This is not a.
Oh, you mean just his ability to get under skin?
They just
like a Garnett.
They know exactly. I mean, I do think that they're both unsportsmen, but there's a lot of unsavory characters in football that are still great footballers.
When there's 30 cameras, you pick up on things that you didn't pick up on 10, 15 years
ago.
No,
I picked up on the pick that they threw to score the third goal. I mean, that would have been an NFL caliber block. All right, it was ridiculous that it was allowed, but it's not that. All right, okay, yeah, that sucks. One goal here, but there were some penalty calls in the other direction too that didn't go.
The PK handball. That's
what I'm saying. I mean, there's a handball in both directions. Those kind of things are going to happen. The cleverness, right? The suppository is that they pick up on these things quickly, and then they bite like a pit bull, right? They bite on and they don't let go. Like, I know that this ref is going to let me do this, so I'm going to do it.
Crack in the wall.
Absolutely. like Robin, that guy. He really, when he retires, he should open up the dive academy. The guy it's incredible. It's incredible. I mean, honestly, I think some of those Barcelona players have now said, like, wow, he does it really good.
I gotta work on that.
It's really good. I mean, they're great. They're wonderful footballers.
A fisherman always sees another fisherman from afar.
Yeah, I mean, Robin's left foot is another dangerous left foot. I mean, that you can't. I mean, yeah, okay. Muller threw like an incredible pick.
You give him space, he's gonna.
But he took the space. And, I mean, Bayern looks very dangerous. 4-0.
And they just got goats for next year.
I know.
I mean, for the German national team, all they're missing is Ozil and Bayern Munich and Royce, and they're set. It's ridiculous.
And Per Mertesacker and Podolski.
Hummels. You can keep him. I don't want him to get injured.
I mean, I guess I don't think they care. I don't think Bayern Munich cares about the German national team.
I think it's just as much as Barcelona cares about the Spanish national team.
Barcelona does not care about the Spanish national team.
I think they're hand in hand.
No, they do not care about.
Come
on, man. You know the history. Catalonia does not care about the Spanish national team.
No, you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. The brand of their football, Spanish football, German football, English football, the English FA. They glorify their franchise teams.
Okay.
If you look at the way La
I think
Liga
it's
is represented in the UEFA, overwhelming support for those two teams because they're always in it. Same thing. Munich always has a support.
Well, I think then I agree with everything you just said, but going back to your original statement about the German national team, I think it's you have a causality issue. I think the German national team will benefit from having them all play on Bayern, but I don't think that the move was not.
No.
The move is not.
The German director didn't pick up the phone and was like, hey.
That's all right. Okay.
Goetz has got to go there.
Yeah.
No, I think Goetz realized, and there were reports that came out today that said he turned down a lot of huge offers because he wanted to play with those players in Bayern, because he wanted to be with them at Bayern. Because to be a German and to play at Bayern is the equivalent of playing as a German national team member. If you're playing at Barcelona or you're playing at Madrid for whatever political ideology you have, that is the equivalent of playing for that national team. If you play, you get my point.
Got it now.
Okay.
So, they go back to Camp Nou. Is it possible?
Barcelona are the only team that have done that. Come back. Being down like that and advancing. They did it in 2011, I think it was. I saw the graphic on the bottom. More homework.
I don't think they can do it.
I don't think. Not against this team with what they have now. Not with the Messi injury. And not against Munich.
I think it's...
Munich has a lot to prove.
Maybe they put it... I think they're going to put in a valiant effort. Maybe they put in 2 or 3. I think Bayern still gets another one.
Munich only has to score 1. And
it makes it pretty much unsurmountable.
Yeah. And if they score 2, it's done. But I don't think it's going to be hard for Munich to score 2, even if it's at the new camp, because, like you said, it's just PK by himself, and they like to commit their fullbacks too much, and they don't have a defending...
Well, they lost Alba, too. He picked up a second yellow, so... Well, I get they have... Adebayor came back. I don't know if he's ready to play. I think I almost feel like he came back out of like a memorial.
And look at the scores they've been putting up in Germany. 8-0 scores, 6-2 scores. So they're scoring goals after. I understand it's against teams like Freiburg and Hoffenheim and things like this.
Hamburg, I think got nailed 9-1.
But they don't have problems being able to get to the goal. That's for sure. I think this.
I think we can both easily agree here. Bayern is going to be in Wembley.
I think so. It might be an all German invasion. The most Germans in London ever.
All right, what's the other one?
The Dortmund-Madrid game. That I think they have a better chance second leg. But we'll talk about the first leg first. Lewandowski scoring 4 goals for the super Polish man.
Final score 4-1?
Yep.
Ronaldo scored in every single Champions League match he's played in.
Really?
Well, this season. So, excuse me. That was I had to put a I had to qualify that.
Greatest coffee in town.
Yeah, exactly. I needed to qualify that. Sorry, I apologize. I had like a mid hiccup or something. Yeah, this season he scored in every single Champions League fixture.
That's a nice stat.
Yep. 12 and 11, something like that. 12 out of 11 matches, something like that.
That goal that they scored was not they didn't create that either. That was complete. They were lucky. Hummels, he went to go do a back pass, took a bad touch on it, and just kind of rolled right off the top of his foot, and Higuain came in and crossed it right over. It wasn't really.
Yeah, it was a mistake.
Yeah, but
Real Madrid's very good at capitalizing mistakes. You know how many mistakes Dortmund made? One.
efficient.
This was. You know what both German teams came out and did?
12th man? That had a lot to do with it, too, I think.
I think that Barcelona and Madrid have both experienced pretty severe 12th men themselves.
Yeah,
I don't think that's
they live in the 12th man.
I don't think that's. I mean, yeah, just the media alone, just how much scrutiny. I mean, I don't think the fans and all that. Of course, I think it always matters. It always has some bearing, but I don't think. I think these guys are kind of,
white noise to them now.
They're seasoned vets,
Yeah.
The pressing. They both German teams pressed very well.
Smothered people out. Smothered the players out of everything.
Both German teams were very physical. Every time Madrid started to get something going, they got. I mean, I don't want to say clobbered. It was fair challenges, but it was physical challenges. They were letting them know, like, here's your mother and here's your father. I'm here. Just. It was pretty. I was shocked at the scoreline. I believe Madrid I sadly, I think they kind of laid down after the third goal. Like, it didn't look very.
They didn't seem like they had any fire in them at all.
I mean, this is the biggest dilemma, really, to me, was tactically the setup. Ozil had to play in the middle. They've had him out in the wing. They had Modric playing in the middle. And they really missed Di Maria from the beginning. And I know Di Maria, he had a baby on Monday. So that's why he flew in late. He didn't practice. He flew in with the team. He was available and he came into the game, but that's why he wasn't a starter. I think that was the big problem is Di Maria and having Modric play in the middle. Of course, and Pepe. I think Pepe he's an absolute liability on the defense.
It was Pepe.
The first goal.
It was
the first
Pepe
goal.
and Varane they had. Right?
Yeah, but Varane is for such a young guy. I think if you
awesome.
watch the game, Varane didn't make many mistakes.
That's what I'm saying. He was the only.
I mean, there's not much to say when you let in 4 goals, right?
Center back.
And you're center back, but when you watch it, it's never coming from his side. It's just he looked very good. He is very good. The team as a whole looked flat. They looked unimpressive. And could they do it? Could they come out of a 4-1? The fact that they got the 1 kind of helps them a little bit. 3-0. A 3-0 at home. They could do that. And they advance on away goals.
They could pull that off. But again, Dortmund is here for a reason.
Well, and all right, so even in the group stages they met, Dortmund beat them 2-1 at home.
Went through the group of death.
And then they drew them 2-2 in Madrid. And they won the group, and Madrid came in second in that group. I think it might be an all-German final.
I do too. As much as I'd love to see, I really wanted to see Jose Mourinho win the Champions League with Madrid, just so he could
move on to greener pastures or redder pastures in your case. He's not. I don't think he's going to leave if he doesn't win.
You don't think so?
I think he wants to win. I think he wants to be. He wants to be a guy that does like unprecedented stuff. That's why why he wants to return to England. He wants to return to England to win a Champions League with an English team.
It's his mission.
That's his
as a man. His personal mission as a man.
I mean, as a man, as an egomaniac. You mean his personal mission as an egomaniac?
I read more Hemingway. You read more Freud. Whatever.
Yeah,
It's cool.
as a man, and that you should crack a
be
bottle.
true.
You're supposed to smash a bottle somewhere now when you say that. For such a manly man, the guy had like 25 cats. Can't be that much of a man. It's Hemingway, folks, not Mourinho.
I was gonna say, I was like, what he's gonna say. All right, so the second leg, you think Dortmund?
I think. Wait, all right, listen. If you want to rewind it a little bit, I don't think Dortmund did not deserve to advance. That Malaga game, that goal that they scored at the end was offside 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Like you watch the replay, it is unequivocally, without a doubt, in my mind, offside. Like, so the football gods are on their side. Bernabeu's tough, but it's not too tough for 4-1. It's not too tough for a 4-1 lead. They just got to. You know what they got to do? They got to weather the storm.
Yeah.
They got to take it. They're gonna have to take it on the chin. No yellow cards for any important key players, right? Just take it on the chin. Take that 2-0 loss if you have to, but advance. That's it. And then we see. I think Dortmund wins the Champions League.
Yeah.
I think they have a chip on their shoulder as the little brother
In Germany.
Yeah, and I think they're going to want to. They lost. They lost the league. They're not in the cup, I don't believe.
Mm-mm.
So this is their only trophy that they're up for, and it's
potentially against their big brother.
Right, and it also will block them from getting a treble.
The Dortmund Ultras would love that. We got a little antsy with goats, I heard.
Did they really?
Vandalizing houses and whatnot. Abusing a brother. Hearsay, possibly, but still ridiculous to think about. Moving on. We got more?
We
got some juicy stuff out of Spain.
Oh. I know what you're talking about.
It's a current trial going on with a doctor.
Someone called the doctor.
Doctor of what exactly? Dan, would you care to explain this this wonder doctor?
He's a doctor
of the sports world?
Of performance-enhancing drugs. That's what he's a doctor of. I don't know. He could be a quack. Who knows? All I know is that this guy, Dr. Fuentes, he's been under investigation for cycling. The Armstrongs of the world. There's a lot of doping, and there's a lot of doping in cycling. It's basically the entire sport. It's like baseball from today. It's like the NFL of today as well. Probably. There's a lot of EPO, and what EPO does, I don't know what the letters stand for, but I know what it does. It creates more red blood cells in your body, so it allows you to transfer oxygen to all parts of your body at a faster rate. So it allows you to have longer, better stamina.
Endurance.
Yeah. The only problem is with like EPO is like if you use a lot of it, you got to wake up in the middle of the night and like run, or you could like kill yourself. Like,
yeah, it's
you got to run or cycle. You got to do something in the middle of the night. EPO is a wonderful drug, probably for a soccer player.
If you need a lot of stamina, cycling, soccer players, marathon runners, it's crazy. They literally take your blood out of you, store it, chill it, and somehow the reaction of your blood being chilled gives it a reaction. It allows it to absorb more oxygen when it gets put back into your system. And since it's your blood in your system, everything will be fine. But sometimes some of these other quack doctors store them. Or first of all, it's completely illegal.
Yeah.
To do this, and a lot of these are done in completely uncommon positions and situations, like hotel rooms and
my basements,
and they are stored in odd ways, like in mini fridges, and
cooler,
kegerators.
Yes.
So this is true. This cyclist from the U.S. team, I saw it was on Real Sports. He found out his blood got tainted. He got real sick, almost died.
That's one of the guys. Yeah. Well, this is not related to Fuentes, though, is it?
It's not related to Fuentes, but it's the same. It's the same.
It's related
it's the same
It's related
method.
to the exactly the same kind of guy, the same kind of.
Back alley doper in a blood sense, blood doper, and he stored them in these wine crates, like things like this, like completely unprofessional. And you have these football players who get millions and millions and millions, multi-millions of dollars, and are rolling the dice by letting these quacks suck the blood out of them, store it in a freaking wine crate, and put it in so they can run all up and down the field. Is it really worth that?
Right. So, what Fuentes? So. Basically, he was trying to get out of some hot water with the cycling thing, and he goes, "Oh yeah, by the way, I've been involved with the physicians. I've helped the physicians, and I've helped rehabilitation to a multitude of sports, including football. Oh yeah, I've worked with Real Madrid. Oh yeah, I've worked with Valencia. Oh yeah, I've worked with players from Barcelona. Absolutely."
So this guy was trying to get the heat off of him, but he let the cat out of the bag with all these other things.
Well. So he starts saying a bunch of stuff. He doesn't name any names. He just names organizations. All of a sudden, threats start coming his way. Threats on his family, threats on him. Then he goes to the court. He's like, you ain't getting nothing out of me. Give me whatever penalty you got. I'm not turning over. I'm not squealing. So, but he's a character because just the other day, he's claiming that Real Madrid owes him money for some work.
That was my next question. What kind of book is he selling now? Is this like a Jose Canseco thing? Like he tweeted this right 2 weeks before his book came out?
It's crazy, but the authorities have captured all these variety of blood samples, and they're all coded, right? There's like names on them, but they're like all code names. So he's like, I could tell you who they were. So really. I mean, the real question is here. Doping. If it's not doping, if it's not EPO, I want to say that at the minimum we're probably seeing HGH and maybe even some anabolic steroids, because what some people think anabolic steroids and HGH, that's all about bulking up. It's not. It's not just. It can be if that's your goal.
It's about strengthening things.
It's about strengthening. It's also about recovery.
Rehab.
It's about getting back.
Torn tendons.
It's and if you are already fit, it's about staying fit. It's about, I played on Sunday.
Building up your defense.
I'm playing on Wednesday. I'm playing on Saturday, and then I'm playing on the Sunday after that. I'm going to play 15 matches in 18 days or something like that, or something ridiculous.
So you're saying the demands of a modern footballer, the human body can't meet those demands, and the wages that require.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying that. When was the last time Cristiano Ronaldo was hurt?
Very true.
I know he's superhuman. I know he's
I'm jealous of him because he's beautiful and he's the best football player in the world.
Yeah, no, there's no jealousy. Believe me. I would never want to be Portuguese.
Some say he just trains hard.
No, I'm not saying, and this is the problem, right? We don't know. So he could just be that specimen that is
That's the thing.
that's
you can't
perfect.
Prove something that you didn't do.
I understand. I get it, but the question is there an egregious amount of performance-enhancing drugs in football? It is never talked about. I mean, actually, Arsene Wenger brought it up. He goes, all these years they test for steroids at the World Cup. 32 teams. Not one player ever gets caught? Ever? Don't you find that strange? Is there a cover-up? Are they just basically saying, we know what's happening, but we don't care?
You just want to know who?
Maybe they don't even want to know who. I think that even they catch them, they just don't care. They just... I have a feeling the next 5 years, it catches from some fire. I think we're going to be seeing there might be some big fallout in football.
Personally, I don't have an issue with performance enhancers. If everybody's doing it, I really don't.
So like Viagra, no problem.
It's revolutionized the porn industry. It's made it in every man's industry.
So you have no problem with it?
Doping in general, as long as everybody has access to it. No.
So what about? Let me give you an example here. I I've read up on all the studies, all the potential harm that I could do to my body, and I say I don't want to put any of this stuff in my body. I want to train naturally. And guess what? Now I'm not good enough because I'm not willing to destroy my liver, potentially destroy my heart, destroy my kidneys, die. I'm not willing to do that.
What's your argument? I'm
not willing to do that. And now I can't perform at the same level of these other guys that are willing to do that. I mean, it's a sport. So should we just say, well, that's your problem? These guys, for me, this is, it's not the UFC. All right, if you told me that there's doping in the UFC, I say, cool. It's a gladiator sport. I'm just watching them kill each other anyway. Really, if they want to, they're getting hit in the head. They're getting hit in the head. They're probably causing lots of damage already. This game, football as we know it, as we understand it. Yeah, okay, maybe they're causing some tendon damage, but nothing that's gonna kill them. Potentially,
well, the science isn't out yet on this. If any procedure performed wrong has the potential to kill you. If you're doing it in the context of the methods that they're doing in hotel rooms and storing in wine crates, you have a high potential. But if it was a well-regulated market that you had access to, you can go to a hospital and there was a clinic where you can go, like they have a dialysis clinic.
So you're saying
the science isn't there.
So you're saying that there's potential that this can be completely safe.
I think there's a potential this to be therapeutic as a recovery for people outside as a medicinal treatment. I almost feel like to me the rules are almost like if you are in a recovery phase, if you are injured, I feel like, all right, I think the HGH it should be used because you're at a deficit. Bless you. You're at a deficit. You're trying to rehab you rip some tendons. That's just to get you back on the field. Mm-hmm. Then it stops. I'm sure that could be manipulated. I almost you know what I mean? I feel like it's a grayscale. I feel like there could be some uses for it. I don't know until I guess really what I'm saying is until there is the definitive research, I don't believe that there should be an open door, go ahead, stick whatever you want in your body. I mean, listen, Robin Van Persie's been swimming in horse placenta and all sorts of stuff to heal his glass ankles, and I think it worked. It works. It's working. The last 2 years. But it's definitely an interesting story, and you're definitely right. I don't think we heard the last of this.
There's definitely more to come. Definitely, this is
especially by the next World Cup. I think or Qatar.
I think they might actually use it to maybe get rid of almost like a bargaining chip, to get it out of Qatar. This was stolen already. We're gonna bring up the doping thing and say that it was Qatari money that caused all this.
Yeah, that's the ticket.
I mean, really, we got to take our tinfoil hats off.
All right, well, that's it for this week. Don't forget to follow us on the Twitter at SoccerYankDave and at SoccerYankDan.
Yep. Just real quick, I want to thank my buddy Lou for sending me this article on the doping that we read up on. He gave it to me a couple of weeks ago. We sat on it, but that's the kind of feedback that we're looking for. You guys got something interesting out there you want us to banter over? Send it my way. I'm sure to read it. I read it. I'm just constantly consuming soccer stuff all the time.
He loves soccer news. He even reads Marca.
No, now I'm only reading Bild. Das Bild.
We broke it first.
Check us out on Facebook. Email us, socceryanks@gmail.com. The website, socceryanks.com. Find us on iTunes, Stitcher, all the good stuff. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks again. Have a good one, folks.